I think Springsteen broke Oswego as a place to play. I really do. It set the bar high enough. And again, I did nothing more, and all of our crew, all of our programming board did nothing but take the baton from the crew, our predecessors, and carry it forward. And once we did Springsteen during the Born to Run tour, the sky was the limit. Conceptually, I was very impressed with Gabriel, and his creativity also impressed me. When I heard that he was working with Robert Fripp on his second album, I bid at the chance to try to get a tour date. And I stuck myself out on the line a little bit here for him because I wasn't sure just how strong he'd be able to draw. But I was delighted when we had almost a packed house in Laker Hall. Here I am with him in the downstairs basement of Laker Hall with Mark Lipkowski, another figure in our crew. Mark did a terrific job for us, and it was another reason for the success we had. Gabriel was delightful to work that day, and he gave a fantastic show. I was just thrilled when Peter Gabriel, for the encore at Laker Hall, decided to come out into the limelight down on Broadway. I think it's a moment many of us will never forget, especially the Tennessee fans. This picture was with Charlie Daniels. Charlie obviously was a staple on the college circuit back then, and he was one of the acts where you wanted to do him because word would get out that you could handle any country act, and he was extraordinarily popular, always had a strong band, and always gave his all during the performance. At that time, The South's Gonna Do It Again was a hit for him, and he had gotten a significant more radio play. Down in Florida can't be still when Leonard Skinner's picking down in Jacksonville. David Bromberg's band was always popular, especially with the downstate kids. Like most of the programming boards, we always tried to strike a balance between upstate acts that were popular and downstate acts. So Bromberg was a good downstate act. Orleans, for example, was a good upstate act. So we brought David Bromberg back, and he just did a dynamite performance. He was extremely popular with a lot of the downstate crew, and he gave a tremendous show. Rick Derringer, the ticket that's pictured there, was another act that we brought into Regan Silver Lake, the same place that we had put Sea Level. And Rick Derringer gave an outstanding show as well. And I remember it was kind of a crisp, cool day, but Derringer always gives a strong performance. He still does to this day. Paramount in our mind was the fact that we had to do a quality show. We had to do it not only for the reputation of the school, but we had to do it for the student body. So every element of professionalism was considered. This went from the staging to the scaffolding to the way that we draped off the stage and even to the printing of the tickets and the posters. We wanted people to go to a show and not know whether they were in Oswego or they were in the Fillmore or they were in New York City in a club or they were out in San Francisco in a club. We wanted them to know that it was a professional performance, dedicated to entertaining the audience. Where's Boston? This is the perfect shot because that's exactly what we were all wondering is where's Boston? We were so excited, thanks to opportunities like doing Bruce Springsteen during the Born to Run tour. That opened up a lot of doors for us. When Boston broke with their second album, it almost immediately climbed to number one, and it was their second album called Don't Look Back, and we had a chance to sneak and grab a tour date, and we did. The opening for the band would be Sammy Hagar. So a group of us actually went up to Plattsburgh to see one of the earlier dates on the tour and felt we could handle them. And we were so excited when they agreed, and we booked the show, and we brought in extra staging, set it all up, and was prepared to unload trailer after trailer worth of equipment. And then we found out that Brad Delp, the lead singer, had come down with laryngitis, so we had to cancel the show. And this was after we had ordered like 600 pounds of dry ice and the catering and everything that goes along with it. So I was devastated. This was, I felt, our 15 minutes worth of fame at that time, and we lost out. But nevertheless, thankfully, there were some other decisions that solidified our reputation. So we lost Boston, but we tried anyway. Martin was quite a story. I had seen him when he first broke. He was even playing music years ago, a little folk music, a little country music, and I had heard of him then, and he was playing, I believe, out in the Colorado area. But when he went on to Carson for the first time, I was taken back. I said, this guy's going to be huge. I mean, he's going to really break. And this is, again, one of the ones that, I had to tell my committee members, and though I got overruled on Billy Joel, they bought into Steve Martin. And we booked them up nearly, I know it was over a year, but it might have been almost 2 years in advance. We booked them for 2 shows in the Hewitt Union Ballroom. They sold out almost immediately. I got scared to death because he was getting so popular at the time that I figured for sure he was going to cancel us because he had to do 2 shows in one night. They weren't high-paying shows because we got them in a reasonable fee. But sure enough, he came in and he just knocked the crowd out literally for 2 shows. A great story is in between shows, I kind of lost him. He was in the dressing room, went back to find him prior to the second show and couldn't find him. And we almost had to send out an APB for him, only to have him show up at the back door, and that he had spent quite a long time over in the library, walking around the student library, looking for books, seeing what was available. He was, unlike what a lot of people think, Steve Martin is very quiet off stage. He saves everything for his performances, so when I did chat with him, it was about collecting artwork. Again, it was a team effort, a complete team effort, right across from the school administrators to the faculty to the student association. Everyone was behind our program, and we never could have done it without their dedicated support and continued support throughout not only my tenure but the years that followed.